Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and then on Sunday will be New Year's Day. In Japan, New Year's is, like I said, probably one of the most important holidays of the year in Japan because it's a time to bring family together. A lot of times everybody will get together and go to Grandma's house and celebrate New Year's there. New Year's in Japan is celebrated from the 31st through at least the 3rd, and then sometimes people try to even get off from work all the way through the 6th. And in some extreme cases, you'll find people that have vacations all the way through until about, I think this year it's the 9th or the 10th is when Adult Day is in January. So it's a really, really important time of year. The school calendar kind of reflects this. I know in the States we usually get off a week before Christmas for winter vacation. However, in Japan, usually the first day of vacation is actually Christmas Day, depending on how the calendar works out. This year we were lucky because Christmas was on Sunday, but I know there's been some times when they had school on Christmas Day, so it kind of depends on things and how they work out. But and then the vacation here extends all the way, like I said, through the first week of January at least. And in the case of school schedules, they do wait until after Adult Day, which is the second Monday of January. So they wait until that's done and then go back to school. So it's a pretty important part of Japanese life. A lot of times people, like I said, you celebrate with your family. It's not a romantic party time with your friends. It's a really quiet, kind of somber time. There are places that do kind of a Western style countdown. You'll find big fireworks displays, like where I live here in Nagasaki at House Tembus. There's a really big party and celebration there that puts out a lot of noise to try to be kind of replicating what everybody sees on TV from the States. But in truth, the New Year is not rung in with a lot of bang and loud noise. The only sound you'll hear are the bells from the shrines being sounded at midnight. And then people kind of take that time to pray and wish for a good new year. So it's a pretty quiet experience. A lot of times families will get together on the 31st. They'll stay up till midnight. They'll watch the new year come in. They'll watch lots of fun TV shows that round up the new year. There's a really popular kind of singing show that's on New Year's Eve where they kind of pit the boys and girls against each other, depending for pop groups and traditional enka music and all that. It's a 2 or 3 hour long TV show where they kind of compete. It's called Kohaku. So a lot of people watch that. But it's kind of just hanging out time, and then sometimes people will stay up and watch the first sunrise of the new year. That's a pretty popular tradition. It's freezing, of course, and it's kind of tricky because sometimes you don't get to see much, but that first sunrise is considered to be very lucky if you get a chance to see it. And then a lot of people will go to their local shrine that next morning on New Year's Day, and it's tradition to go to the shrine and to toss money into the shrine and ring the bell and wish for good fortune for the new year. Now, even though people go and they pray and that sounds all religious and strict and everything, I think it can be really misleading to foreigners because it's not like if you don't believe in this, you can't do this. It's not like how we look at religion in the West where, everybody has real strict rules and you have to believe in what we believe or you're not welcome. It's not kind of like that. It's real open. It's not a strict kind of religious following. It's just really just about asking for good fortune and good luck. Not so much about a god or anything in that particular way. So it's kind of a way to bring in the new year. I know in my family our tradition is to also go for a walk with our family on New Year's Day. So we'll go to a park and walk and enjoy the cold of the new year, but it's a kind of a fun time to be with family. And then the big thing is Hatsuri, which is the first sales of the day, of the new year, excuse me. So a lot of people will go to the department stores and wait in line to go shopping. Now, the rules of when stores are open kind of change and depend on which store you're looking at. Some do their first sale of the new year on the 1st, but so most of them wait until the 2nd or the 3rd. A lot of stores are closed on the 1st and you can't really do much shopping. So the first sales usually wait until the 2nd or the 3rd. They do start really early, big doorbusters, just like in the States on Black Friday. It's a, early morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. People wait outside the department stores and rush in. And they wait and rush in to buy lucky bags, or fukubukuro. And these lucky bags usually contain lots of different things that basically the store's trying to sell and get rid of so that they can start new merchandise for the new year. But the general idea is that what you're paying is far less than what's inside. Used to be that, there was a lucky chance, that's why the name is a lucky bag, that there was a lucky chance that if you spent 20 bucks on a jewelry lucky bag, you might get lucky and get a $200 ring. These days, people are anxious to always know what's inside, and a lot of times they would take a peek. These are usually closed and sealed off so you can't see what's inside, but people would be terrible and open them up to see what was inside. So stores decided, actually sadly, to stop keeping it a surprise and to display what was inside on the outside of the bag. And I've always kind of felt sad ever since they started doing that, because I liked the element of surprise. But it is still a good time to get good deals and to buy your first things for the new year, which a lot of people in Japan consider very lucky. So, but that's kind of a general introduction to what New Year's is like here. It's, like I said, it's a fun time for family, and you get to kind of ring in the new year. We don't make a big deal about resolutions like we do in the States. You just try to live your life well every year, so you just hope for some health and success, I suppose. But not really a big deal about traditions. There's none of that first kiss of the new year at New Year's after a countdown. You don't see very much of that. You don't see much public kissing in general anyway, so that would be kind of a strange thing. But so it's a very different kind of atmosphere. But a lot of fun, and you try to eat some mochi, which I'll be talking about next week. It's also a good tradition to try to eat some noodles. In my family, my father-in-law makes really good ramen, so we eat ramen at the beginning of the new year, and you try to have really long noodles so that you'll have a really long life. So some fun things to kind of think about as we get ready to ring in 2012, which will be the year of the dragon. So I hope everybody has a really safe and fun weekend and rings in 2012 in